and welcome to this Car Pod.
I'm Filippo.
I'm Nick.
Kennan is gone, but we do have Ryan Lopez over there. Time for the news.
All right, most important news story first.
The Honda Odyssey, nothing's happening to it.
Yeah, pretty much.
That is the news story.
Beloved by CPAs and people like Filippo everywhere.
People like Filippo. The news story is responsible adults. The news story is this: Honda apparently spent so much money on their EVs. Well, lost so much money on their EVs, like the prologue, to which it was a prologue to there never became a story. That they had to they are delaying the redesigns of a lot of their new core products for multiple years, including the Odyssey, which supposedly might be delayed now until 2030.
That car came out in 2017.
The current Odyssey came out in 2017. I reviewed it in Rancho Santa Margarita. It was one of my favorite videos. And
did you review the vacuum?
The whole thing. It was a big deal. And it's not just the Odyssey. It's maybe the new Accord. It's maybe the new Civic.
Correct. The HRV, the MDX, the next generation MDX.
This is a big deal.
2031.
This is a big deal because Honda as a company pretty much relies on these core products to exist. They only basically have 6 core products as a car, and then they have Acura, which has maybe 1 core product or 2.
Yeah.
And so the EV thing was such a massive loss for them that the Odyssey, these cars, these big competitive cars that Honda relies on to bring them money and sales and profitability, are going to just get older and older and older. The Odyssey is highlighted because its chief rival was the Toyota Sienna, was redesigned a couple years ago and went hybrid and went all-wheel drive, neither of which the Odyssey offers.
And the Carnival also hybrid. I can't remember if it has a hybrid version, is a new product.
Everyone I know who has an Odyssey only did so because Siennas weren't available, which is still true. There's so much demand for the Sienna that they're knocking down Toyota dealer doors, and this is sort of like a second choice. And it's unusual because my entire life, Honda has never been a second choice. It has been a brand that like you actively seek out and buy. Nissan is if you can't qualify for a Honda or if you can't afford one, you go buy a Nissan. Well, as these cars get older and older, the current Accord has also already been out for a few years. The Civic has already been out for a few years. You run a 13-year product life cycle on a minivan.
It's core products.
We'll see. Right. We'll see what happens to Honda's profitability and numbers as these cars start to get older and older, and presumably sales continue to decline.
By the way, they're not the only ones, right? Like, we'll talk about the Macan in a minute. That's been in one product life cycle forever because they planned on having an EV replacement that is just not going to really come to fruition. The Macan EV exists. The Odyssey, 2017 to 2030. The Accord came out in 2023. It will be at least 2030 before there's a redesign.
So we're 4 model years.
These are long life cycles.
When I was a kid, 4 years was an Accord generation.
That's right.
The Civic was what? Civic was even it was 21?
A couple of, the Civic was 23 also.
But regardless, if we're taking these things to 2030, these cars, this is heavy competition in these segments.
Is it though? There's 4 minivans available.
No, okay,
to your point, they can do nothing and still be a solid second place.
Which is why this is going to work, and why it has worked already up until this point. However, compact sedan is already not a particularly profitable segment with Civic. If you can't create an innovative vehicle, you're going to have trouble. Same with Accord. You said it affects HRV, which is one of the really big segments right now. CRV was just redesigned, so they have some space there.
Time, thankfully.
But you have to assume that if it pushes out all the other ones, you're not going to necessarily see some real development on CRV and Pilot. That may also push out those. And you're basically talking about an entire generation of cars that Honda will skip, like one life cycle that Honda's going to...
They can't be competitive to do that. Also, especially because most of their products, the Accord and Civic aside, are not hybrid products. Like the MDX, which came out in 22, will not be redesigned until 2031.
Crazy.
So that's an incredibly long life cycle in an ultra-competitive luxury midsize SUV segment without real powertrain development, without real feature development, with interiors that are dated to the early 2020s when everybody's gone to screens. By the way, Acura, which will not have the RDX anymore, will have a 8-year-old, 9-year-old MDX as their other core product. That's not a great situation to be in.
The SUVs would worry me. I think even the sedans, like, that's also a dying segment. Like, I would coast on those and just win based on name and then put everything in SUVs.
And the CRV is a new competitive product. They have some time. But they
so
need
is HRV. HRV is pretty new.
2025. But still.
You remember there was a hybrid MDX for like an afternoon?
Of course.
There was briefly a hybrid MDX. There was briefly a hybrid
4-seat only,
Pathfinder.
or 2 captain's row only, so 6-seat max.
Really?
Fun fact.
briefly, but then it went away. But
Prior
in
gen, yeah.
Honda's defense, it was prior gen, yeah. In Honda's defense, and I do want to defend them, it was hard to see this coming because the Lexus RX 400 hybrid came out in 2006. And who the hell knew? Who the hell knew? It's been 20 years, but we had to wait and see.
It just makes me worried, especially in the light of Kia, Hyundai, obviously on an immense product offensive.
Yep.
Trying to get as many really competitive products out as they can. Toyota is in the middle of a huge hybridization push where pretty much every new Toyota that comes out is hybrid only.
Totally.
And it's selling well.
You had to assume that what the plan was that they were going to let Odyssey go until an EV could replace it.
Canceling entirely, by the way, this year.
Really?
They decided, thankfully, not to. Thankfully,
but that was probably their plan, like, because they didn't develop hybrid versions of these cars, even though other automakers were, even including Mazda, who for years was like, we're not going to do hybrids, we're just going to get better fuel economy out of gas engines. Well, eventually everybody caved. Honda still hasn't. And when do you ever see Honda behind?
Well, it used to be kind of always. But then they cut off.
In a lot of segments, like off-road SUVs, but it's rare to see them behind with their core.
Yeah, I agree.
Those 7 cars are so important to Honda. They're so important that they've always done a great job of making sure they are the best products in their segment. And when they came out, I truly think the new Civic and the new Accord were the best products in their segment.
Honestly.
This was the best product in its segment when it came out.
2017.
Pilot's very competitive. CRV is very competitive.
I just worry about like what is coming. So they've obviously stopped the drive towards EV.
Yeah.
Have they, like, will the 2030 product offensive have hybrids, plug-in hybrids, things that the market is
Probably,
at this moment
but
demanding?
2030 is 4 years from now. Next man, Trump isn't even going to be president anymore.
My man. I think actually the wait and see strategy is not the craziest with all of the turmoil in the market between tariffs, EVs,
But it's not a by choice. It's not a strategy. It's they don't have any money to invest in products.
Maybe.
Other brands have newer products that are going to
Honda gets all its buyers for the people that go to the newsstands and buy consumer reports and say, hey, this is super reliable. That's all they care about. They don't need the bells and whistles.
Yeah.
They just want to know, is it going to break down?
The problem is, though, no cars break down anymore, and Honda is, those people who you're mentioning are generally older, and I think Honda is going to get into a situation where they are not attracting as many new people as they are getting old people who are not holding onto cars forever or not buying cars as much. And I think that if they don't sit here with something appealing, a sports car, a brand new whatever, you're going to just sort of have attrition. What would stop someone from going and buying a brand new Hyundai with a giant screen? Some of the tech in these cars is like
truly.
The Odyssey tech is like pretty insane. A buddy of mine has a brand new Odyssey. He says there's not a single USB-C. It's all USB-A.
Which is fine except for the fact that USB-C ports became the norm in every new car 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Right? Which, like, obviously you still have every cord for every version.
Like whatever,
but
that's just an example.
Yeah.
You should play with all the tech in new Hondas.
Yeah.
It's behind. It's old. It's not what it
And then
what
at
it
some
should
point
be.
you worry about, is their driver safety stuff as good? Is their safety in general as good if they have a 13-year-old product?
Yeah,
without
totally. For a family car.
And by the way, I want to reiterate the point. Acura, which won't have the RDX, will have a 9-year-old MDX by then.
But Filippo,
will have an Integra whose life cycle has been expanded by 3 years and still doesn't sell well, as is new. Acura's.
You're forgetting, maybe intentionally.
Oh, yeah, which car am I forgetting? I am forgetting
The
a car.
ADX is going to save Acura. The audience is watching. They're thinking, "What the hell is the ADX?"
I was next to an ADX yesterday.
That's more than I've seen.
Yep.
All right, next news story on the same topic. Mercedes-Benz is doing V8s.
Doug, I don't know if you know much, but AMG, big V8 company.
Big V8 company.
Yeah.
They do
I got one, actually. You should try it out.
They do V8s, although currently what they do is turbo 4-cylinders in the C63.
That's gonna be
You loved it, right?
Probably.
Man, I saw one of those on the road. What would have to happen for you to grab one of those?
Insanely steal.
What number?
$199 a month.
Really? If it was $199, you'd pick one up? Because Charger EVs were.
Because then it's just a hybrid, commuter car at that point. That's slightly fun. Maybe $299.
Loud, a little. $299, it would be a deal. I'll accept that.
You'd get one at $299?
I personally, there was nothing that could convince me to buy or lease a new high-performance sedan.
What do you mean? Not a Blackwing? Nothing?
Ooh. Fine, a good high-performance sedan.
Yeah, with a V8.
Tell me to buy a mediocre one.
That's not.
If we're going to get a performance sedan, you want a performance engine in it.
Anyway,
part of the definition.
AMG is saying they're doing a new V8 this year. There's a lot of reasons why this is a big news story. The fact that they're doing a new V8, apparently it's derived from an existing Mercedes-Benz powertrain. The thing that's the most interesting about it to me is that now it's been years since there's been an E63. And we have the M5 and we have the RS6, which pretty much compete I don't want to say uncontested by Mercedes-Benz because there's an E53, but ultimately
Uncontested by Mercedes-Benz. Yeah,
it's
I'll say it.
uncontested at that performance level, which is crazy because Mercedes-Benz kind of, especially in the States, Mercedes-Benz created that segment with high-performance wagons.
Yeah.
And I'm curious if this powertrain will find its way into an E-Class.
They've said that they're going to put these first in their SUV products.
Yep.
So the GLS, GLE, maybe.
Yeah.
It's based on the M177 Evo in the new S-Class.
Yep.
And it's going to be a flat plane crank V8, apparently.
Yep.
So
Wow.
yeah, GLE, GLS as the starting point, and then some of the other cars, probably.
The current AMG twin turbo V8 is a fantastic powertrain. Great to see that they are doing it.
Yep.
They have not committed under any circumstances to doing this powertrain in a C-Class, which I think is what
That's going to be their 6-cylinder offering.
So they're saying they're going to do a C53 with a 6-cylinder, but that does leave room for a C63.
Especially in the U.S., right? So I think some of their decision making and why the 53 models will exist is in some markets that will be the top product for emissions reasons.
Wouldn't
but
it
you got to
be
imagine in the
ironic?
U.S. you can get away with it.
Wouldn't it be ironic after all this time if Mercedes-Benz, Porsche, who's kind of already implied this, starts making products for the U.S. market that aren't sold in Europe, starts making like performance products for the U.S. market.
Did it with the E60.
Yeah, but that was like kind of a rare one-off weird thing. Imagine if there are actual powertrains.
I mean, America's got the economy, it's got the buyers, like
Totally.
And EVs are going to kill it in APAC, right? Like Zeekrs of the world and BYDs are taking over. So then America is one of the best markets for internal combustion engines, especially big hunky
only
V8s, where
market.
we have the cheapest gas.
The only market, because it used to be that there were parts of Europe where you could sell these cars and still make money. There were people in Switzerland, there were people in Germany. But now the government in Europe is kind of making sure that these vehicles no longer
I mean, this
exist.
is
Euro 7 regulations. are tight.
Chrysler's strategy or Dodge's strategy, right? Like, bring back the V8s.
Bring back the V8s.
I don't.
I'll do it.
Yeah, I got you. I got
We're
you.
V8 guys.
That's
How many
right.
V8s you got right now, Nick?
Let's see, the Range Rover, the E55,
Yeah.
the SLR,
Yeah.
the Cayenne.
You got
So
5.
5 out of 6 are V8s.
Wow. I've only got 2,
I only got 1.
but I do have a V10 and a V12.
Yeah.
And we like cylinders here on this podcast,
do.
folks. We like cylinders.
And we hate the environment.
Well, there we go.
I got 14 miles per gallon on the way here.
Not
and that's
aligning myself with this.
Probably the second best of my fleet.
The other day I went to fill up.
How do you survive?
The other day I went to fill up at the gas pump, and it was $7.20 a
Yeah.
gallon.
Yeah.
$7 US.
I have not seen that high.
$7.20.
Are we at the turning point where you're going to start shopping for gas and like go to the Costco and wait in line?
No, but I will
honestly
tell
do
you
already.
this. I did do one thing, which I think that our users should do as well. I saw the 720 and I said, nope. And I pulled out my company credit card and I used that instead because I was coming home from work and I figured, you know what? If the company wanted me to go to work today, I had to get home, for God's sake.
Luckily, we get 2 points back. Thanks, Amex. That's something.
All right, give us our next news story. Boom,
right,
manual
so
transmissions.
All
Yeah.
right.
We talked a few weeks ago, I think you were gone, about there will be a next generation Camaro.
Hard to believe.
It has been rumored by the folks at GM Insider that it will, based on their sources, it will have a manual transmission.
Manual and a new Camaro.
Yeah. Again, American market needs.
Or GM
very
Authority,
different.
I apologize. GM Authority.
That's pretty legit if it's real.
I trust their sourcing. They are indeed the authority.
How cool.
And then the question for both this and AMG is, all right, so if you've already developed the powertrain, what else can you stick it in?
Yeah.
Yeah, the chassis for the Camaro has they will also be building it alongside a Cadillac sedan and some other product, and so maybe there'll be a manual Cadillac sedan too. By the way, the new Camaro, 4-door.
Are we sure about that?
We're pretty confident.
Not a Camaro.
Well,
It's like a Mach-E, you know?
Well, that's
don't
EV.
forget, though, the Camaro's got a long history. There was a period of time where there were Camaros that were horrible. And so...
But were they ever 4 doors?
No, but they were horrible.
Yeah.
And so what I would say to you is, if we get a 4-door Camaro that's good, wouldn't that be preferable to a 2-door Camaro that's horrible, like we had at some points? And I'm not specifically calling out the 3rd gen. I'm not calling out the 3rd gen. But there are people who might, is what I'm saying. There are people who might.
I just don't know if a 4-door Camaro makes any sense.
You
in my
don't
world.
like the Chevy
It better
SS?
be good.
You don't like the Chevy SS? You know, a Chevy SS, man?
Yeah, I did see one the other day, actually. And
Yeah.
they recognized the wagon, and we had a nice little chat outside of Carl Strauss.
Yeah. You outside of Carl Strauss, you're talking to the Chevy SS guy.
Yeah.
Did politics come up, Nick?
Why do we think these were Nick?
We have
Why?
it on, Kenan.
Well, I'm just saying.
Please come back, Kenan. For God's sake,
I'm just
please. Kenan was I looked at. We have all of each other's
Yeah.
locations, and I looked at Kenan's location today. He's in Florence, Alabama.
Yeah, he's filming
and I'm
two
like,
V10
what
Lambos.
the hell is Kenan doing in Alabama?
Filming 2 V10 Lambos.
Kenan doesn't belong in Alabama. He's not correct. It's
Neither
not right.
do Lambos, and so it makes sense.
What the hell are those cars doing in Alabama?
I don't know, but one of them is going to be at the Velocity Invitational event.
Ryan Lopez is from Alabama.
Yeah.
Although I think he isn't, because when I asked him about his license plate code for his county, he didn't know it.
Oh, You know who else is from Alabama?
47, by the way. What's that?
Tim Cook.
Yeah, I know. It's
Mobile.
Ryan Lopez and Tim Cook are the only two non-pro athletes / politicians ever to rise out of Alabama and make something of themselves. Ryan Lopez, you're doing great.
As someone with a big head, both literally and figuratively, I Google myself almost every week. And when I do so, some crazy stuff comes up. And that's why I personally use Delete Me. Delete Me is a really killer service that helps take down a bunch of personal information you don't want on the web. I first heard of Delete Me from Doug here on this podcast, and I decided to try it out myself because I was really tired of all the spam calls, spam emails, and weird stuff that was going on. And after a year of using it, I have now renewed and keep paying for it because it actually works. So I am a big fan of Delete Me. And as someone who works in the search engine optimization space, I can tell you a lot of people reach out with problems of their online reputation. And Delete Me is the easiest way to do it if you are a solopreneur or a person wanting to get your personal information off the web. So take control of your data and keep your private life private by signing up for Delete Me. Right now, listeners can get 20% off their plan at joindeleteme.com/DeMuro. Use promo code DeMuro at checkout. That's joindeleteme.com/DeMuro, code DeMuro. Now back to the pod.
All right, give us our next news story, please. Yes, this is a Porsche Macan. And Porsche announced on an earnings call this week that the gas Porsche Macan production ends this summer.
How tragic.
And that they will not be replacing it with another gas Macan for 2 years.
Heard this one before.
Yeah, we talked about this before, but it's wild.
No, but I mean, they're confirming the
confirmed
timeline.
now, yeah.
July will be the EOP, as the Germans, I guarantee, were saying.
inventory-
And SOP,
How much do you think inventory you
probably
think they have?
some, because it's not that, I mean, it's an old car.
Yeah, it's been out forever.
Yeah. Yeah,
My
it's one of the
neighbors
longest-
had one like before COVID.
It's
Yeah.
yeah.
It feels
And
like it.
even before that, it was on sale. I think
Yeah.
it came out in 15, right?
That 2015 was about talk about long life cycle.
Yeah.
What are sorority girls going to buy once they graduate?
Q5s, as they always did.
What sororities were you at that girls
Hey.
had Macans?
You know,
He went, Nick,
the North Shore of Chicago, all right, was a little different.
there was a sorority girl when I was in college who had a Freelander SE3. You know that car?
That's so cool.
The yellow convertible one. And
Yeah,
I
yeah.
remember that was the star of the sorority.
That is a great
house
sorority
parking
car.
lot.
Yeah. My wife watches the podcast, so I got to be careful, but that sounds like marriage material.
Wonder what he would have said if his wife didn't watch the podcast.
Porsche, tough position to be in.
So having the gas Macan end and then 2 years away from the new one going on sale obviously means they will not have a gas Macan for a while. Eventually they will sell out, of course, of the gas ones. This is another Honda story. I mean, it's another example of the EV strategy has kind of changed things around, and this is the situation that they're stuck with. I'm actually surprised that they're stopping production. When I reviewed Macan EV and chatted with the Porsche people at the time, they told me point blank that they had the ability to kind of extend this car's production life. They didn't do that. I'm sure they have good reasons, but
I wonder, right? So like your first guess would be for emissions reasons they can't use existing powertrains, but the base engine in this is the same engine that Volkswagen uses in everything. That's in my GTI basically.
But they're going to keep making
that
it
is still
under other
compliant.
brands.
They're going to keep making that.
I don't know,
Yeah,
but
so
it
I'm surprised.
is interesting. Porsche's in this kind of unusual situation where they're not making all that much money. Profitability is down. They had to sell off that Bugatti brand.
Yeah. Tough day.
This car is going away. They're obviously going to have to put an enormous amount of money into redeveloping vehicles that they probably didn't think they would have to put money into redeveloping. It's a kind of a tough transition period. I mean, again, the Honda story. Honda posts their first quarterly loss in decades. That's where Porsche is as well.
You know,
this whole EV shift has been weird.
Can I give you a fun fact? All right, so we
depends
see
how
a
fun.
lot of Macans. in
Yeah.
Southern
This better
California.
be really fun.
Every day.
They
20.
sold 85,000 Macans last year.
By far
globally. You know how many Odysseys sold last year? 88,000.
Just in the U.S.
I mean, it's the only market where it's sold. Yeah. So
Canada too.
honestly, much better seller than the Macan. Turns out, I would have thought more than 88,000. They're everywhere.
When I worked for Porsche, this is a real statistic. When I worked for Porsche Cars North America, I worked for there. In 2012, I left in 13. There were years where we would get outsold as a company nationally by the largest Toyota dealership in the United States.
Good old Longo. But I will say Macan is 30% of their sales last year.
Wow.
Yeah, no, it's the best selling car.
This
It's a big deal.
Is tough.
This is a big deal. I am curious, and we don't get these numbers, and we probably should do a little bit more research. He should before he comes on the pod. But I am curious how Macan EV sells globally. Is it and they probably would never say, but is it the success they were hoping for? Is this mainly a U.S. story that the Macan is going away and Porsche's retooling everything, or is Macan EV actually been like the competitive product they were hoping that it would be globally?
22% of Porsche sales were fully electric in 2025, which would have been Taycan and Macan.
Pretty significant number. However, we also hear that sales in China are way down, et cetera. So the electric cars must not be doing quite what they were hoping for.
Yep.
Nonetheless, this is another interesting one. On to our next news story. Yes. It's Spyker. Here's a photo. I have no idea what this is a photo of.
So the gentleman that bought the intellectual property to it a year or two ago,
Spyker.
I did do some reading.
This was
Spyker.
For those who don't know, this was a supercar company they were Dutch, right?
Yeah, Dutch, and they build some very beautiful cars.
I
saw Ed Bolian's in person just a week ago, and just like, it's still the details, the finishing touches. It is like true coach building level supercar. It was a kind of a fancy Audi R8 underneath.
Since you only did some of the reading, I should point out the person that rebought the intellectual property to Spyker is also the person that founded Spyker originally.
Going there.
So it's not just like a random dude that bought the IP.
Victor Muller, and then also the Spyker enthusiast guy on Instagram who's been literally flying all over the globe, servicing and keeping the existing Spykers running and serviced, which is pretty cool. Basically, they saw, hey, there's such a cult following for these cars still. We ought to bring it back. And I think the coolest part, because I did read the article, is that they're going to be debuting the new model at the Quail this year, a venue in which I have been deemed not cool enough or valid enough to even buy a ticket at. So they are killing it. They're getting into things that even Doug DeMuro's inner circle can't get into and debuting their new cars. So I'm very happy for them and not at all bitter about it.
Our understanding is that it'll be a twin turbo V8.
I thought you did get passes.
I meant to tell you this, but I hit them up for press pass saying that I'm a good friend of yours. So I name dropped a little bit, and they said they'll get back to me in a month.
I'm going to tell you, just so you know, 3 or 4 years ago, I tried to get press passes, and they said no. Cool. Myself, not even a good friend of mine, myself.
Well, there's that.
Love this.
But I thought in the end they offered you the ability to buy tickets.
I did eventually get pulled on the wait list, but that's $1,600.
Yeah.
You guys aren't paying me enough for this.
But $1,600, you get to see the new Spyker unveiled,
does.
and you're an enthusiast.
That brings up the value of the event from about $350 to about $400.
You know
Wow.
That's a lot of. I'm sure you'll get those press passes now.
Yeah.
The event's worth a quarter of what they charge. Let me go and report on it. I think this is cool. I think the Spykers were cool. I think they're still undervalued. I am sad at what is obviously going to happen, which is that this new Spyker is going to be more expensive than I wish it was.
Oh, I'm sure. 800 horsepower, V8, supercar, hand-built, bespoke. It's going to be gorgeous, but it's going to be money.
If they can get enough interest.
Did they?
They haven't confirmed.
Oh, no, I thought you were telling me.
No.
Because I didn't actually read the
No,
full article.
I'm curious.
They haven't confirmed. So it also depends on if they get enough interest. It makes sense.
The exposed linkage was sort of the trademark feature of the C8.
Yeah.
So it kind of has to, I think.
I think a manual, I think it'd be cool. It's going to be $1 million.
It's the only way to differentiate.
It's like that
as well.
Di Tommaso P72 that I fell in love with.
Yep.
And I want one. And then we found out that it's like $4 million.
Yep.
Like that's what all these cars are
Good
now.
things cost money.
Yeah, but that didn't used to be true. A Spyker back in the day was like 300 or less.
And they're so cool.
And they're so cool. And they still are like 300. But I guess my point is like everything's $1 million. Anytime a bespoke special, like you just assume you'll never afford it and you'll never see one.
We'll see them.
Yeah, at very special events on lawns.
Dude, there's like Gumpert Apollos everywhere now.
Gumperts are everywhere.
Move forward. All right.
Ford is.
So Ford
we've
built
talked
a
about Matchbox car.
Yeah. that is what they
A very
gave journalists.
high-res mock-up here.
No, that is what they gave journalists. So Ford is building a new EV.
And they've hired children to design it with Play-Doh.
They're targeting a pickup
Play
truck.
with it. It's for children.
that is around $30,000. So they're targeting a pretty low price electric pickup truck.
Yep.
There's a bunch of stories out from a bunch of different outlets over the last week because they have let people behind the scenes a little bit to look at their facilities where they're doing this, where they're designing it. They also gave out this literal sample. It's like small, it's like 3D printed. It's cool.
I don't get this.
No,
Ford, you don't invite me to this?
Let's be honest. They may have.
What are you suggesting that I don't?
It got lost with a bunch of Mark IV Supras that Sean at carsandbits.com email him.
This was in Long Beach, which is just a little too far north.
I didn't go to this, and it was in Long Beach.
The reason I'm mentioning this is Ford has made a big deal in the stories that came out about the fact that this is a true skunkworks project. So basically, they hired some people from Apple and from Tesla and from other automakers to lead up this project.
Yeah.
And they have said basically the CEO is not really involved. He's not allowed in the building. His key card, Jim Farley's key card, doesn't allow him access to the building. They're doing.
You buying any of this? Remember in Curb Your Enthusiasm when he was going to pitch a script to someone that worked at Disney? And you're like, oh yeah, the person worked at Apple. Yeah, the Apple Store.
Right.
Like
they hired actual
also,
Yeah.
Jim Farley's not allowed. But
He doesn't wanna go.
But they showed it off to journalists in Long Beach.
Well, that's
Jim Farley, hey, can I come to Long? Nope, you're not allowed in Long Beach either, Jim Farley.
Farley's like, Detroit's better than that.
Their point has been that they're keeping this very separate and very different from how Ford otherwise built product. They're trying to be a very upstart manufacturer.
Ford, I'm going to tell you something because I know you're watching. If you want to make this different from how you normally make a product, how about we don't have an 8-year development cycle? How about you get this thing to market in 18 months? That's how you do it. That's what Tesla
They
does.
are starting pre-production now, but like factory production now.
I have some feedback too.
I haven't seen one.
Ford, if you're
weren't
listening,
invited.
it needs to be at least 3 times bigger than this.
This is a 132 scale. But it's interesting how much they're leaning into. This was built in a different way, right? Like we really let engineers loose, but not our normal engineers. They couldn't be trusted. We had to bring in people from the outside to bring fresh perspective, to build new ideas, to make it an affordable, compelling EV
I do
product.
think that one of the biggest problems that the legacy automakers have with competing against the upstart brands is development cycles and current the way that I think the problem that legacy automakers still have is they think the car has to be ready for launch when it launches. I honestly think that is one of their biggest mistakes. Teslas have never been ready for launch when they launch. They're riddled with all these things that get corrected later. And same with Fiskars. And let's just launch the thing.
I think that's kind of what they're pushing towards, right? Their goal really was
Let's
get it
sell
up
it.
quickly, rethink some assembly line processes. There were a bunch of interviews in these pieces with the folks that are at the actual production line complaining about all right, well, they keep changing these parts. They keep changing these things. At some point, we need to lock it in. But I think that's kind of the point, right? You can kind of keep iterating and keep making it a little better and keep...
Yeah. They got someone from the Apple Store, dude. Move fast and break things.
Move fast and break things.
That's not that.
It's actually the Facebook.
It doesn't matter.
Is it Facebook?
Yeah, Mark Zuckerberg's.
Oh, yeah, like in the early days.
Regardless, it is exciting. This should be out in 2027, by the way, the pickup truck. I will say, all the interviews make a big deal about Jim Farley not being allowed at the facilities. They originally pitched him an SUV, and he said, no, it needs to be a mid-sized pickup truck.
That's weird.
Yeah.
So
he wants to fight against Bezos for those Slate customers, those 6
All
people
5 of
interested.
Tello.
it will be
Speaking
cool.
of Zuckerberg, you know what he drives?
He used to drive a TSX. Or TL.
Oh, no. Go to the next news story.
What up, pod? It is me, Thunder Thighs, back to promote the good gospel of Chubbies. Chubbies is my go-to for pool parties, beach days, date nights, and everything in between. They're the most comfortable, most stylish, and raddest swim trunks around, and they also make shorts and a whole bunch of other stuff, too. I like it because I can feel cool even though I'm a middle-aged, midlife crisis man who isn't that cool other than my cars and my cool shorts. If you are in the market for some cool stuff for summer, definitely check out Chubbies. And best of all, they support this car pod, which is awesome for us. It's awesome for you, and it's going to make your whole summer. So whether you're getting dressed for your workday, a workout, or summer vacation, Chubbies has you covered. And for a limited time, Chubbies is giving our viewers 20% off your order with our code Doug at chubbyshorts.com. That's code Doug at chubbyshorts.com. Support our show and tell them we sent you. Don't blend in with the crowd. Stand out with Chubbies. Now back to the pod.
He drives a Blackwing.
Does he really?
Yeah.
But he also had that Cayenne stretch.
Yeah, if that was for his what? Zuckerberg himself, that might be Zuckerberg.
It could be now, yeah.
He drives a Blackwing. Cadillac's coming out with it. He's anxious because we skipped the news story. Filippo's sitting there like, oh God, oh God. They're coming out with a Formula One edition of the Blackwing. They've come out with several special editions of the Blackwing, and there's now a Formula One edition. And Nick, in the center console, there's an FIA badge.
It'd be a good safety car.
Yeah.
But yeah, only 25 is what I read, which is crazy low.
Well, they're manual only, and honestly, 25 is like 2 months of sales.
Yeah.
Truthfully. The car is wonderful, and it is finding the right buyers, and is selling its sticker, but production is low, and sales are slow.
You see a lot of the F1 edition Aston Martins around, though. Like, Aston really cashed in on that, and I think limiting it to 25, like, Cadillac ought to be making a big fuss
only
about
because I care about accuracy. They're making 26.
Okay. Thank you.
As a nod to when they joined Formula One.
I'm sure 2 of them are going to Sergio Perez and Bottas over there.
That might be.
That's who they are. Valerie or Valtteri.
There'll be some F1 logos. Great.
Yeah, it's mostly a car with F1 logos. There have been actually already several Blackwing special editions, and as a person who always kind of thinks about dipping my toe into the Blackwing pool, I'm not into it. I do wish it was a station wagon, and I know that's stupid car enthusiast BS, but I do own a station wagon which I bought essentially new, and I would think about it. I would have a conversation. Wouldn't you? You don't think my wife would drive around a Blackwing? She would if there was a third row, I'll tell you that. There wouldn't be options.
The experience
Here's your Blackwing.
There will not be a third row under any circumstance.
You know, the third rows are over. Did you know that, by the way? My E-Wagon is the last to have a third row.
I did not know
They
that.
don't offer it anymore.
Of any cars ever?
It's done. There's no more rear-facing third rows in any
safety?
cars. No, it's not a safety thing. I think it's safer. If you look at data, there's a reason little kids are rear-facing as long as possible.
Yeah.
I think it's actually legitimately safer to to be sitting rear-facing.
That's good.
Including in the third row for a lot of reasons, but one is that your legs are getting hit instead of your head. But regardless, there are actual crash forces are better if you get hit when you're rear-facing.
I suppose it's good if you are getting rear-ended, like you see it coming too.
That's
helps
good.
brace.
It's good for your psyche.
That really
you put your hands out, stop it.
But yeah, there's no more. That's it. The E-Wagon 23 model.
My kids will only sit in the third row now that I have one. They love it. It's so cool.
I want to go back to this because it's an important story.
We all have 3-row
To me.
Mercedes station wagon.
I know this Mercedes podcast.
we're all doing this?
one
We're all
big
doing
drive.
I am disappointed we
Hated
covered
that.
a Porsche story for no reason. I mean, the Macan going away. Come on.
I agree.
Come on.
We're certainly not Porsche people.
I have 2 quick stories
Okay.
because I refuse to not talk about the news.
Okay.
Rivian CEO RJ Scaringe said in an interview that there will be other variants of the R2. So the R2 we know is the SUV that's going to come out. He basically hinted at there will be an R2X. Clearly, there could be an R2X, and well as other variants that they have not yet announced.
I don't understand what is an R2X.
Like the performance version.
But the R3X is like a off-roady hatchback.
The R3 is like a little hatchback, and the R3X like the performance off-road
I
version.
haven't seen an R3 that wasn't an R3X. Is there such a
Yeah.
thing? Really?
I don't think they ever showed it because the R3X looks cooler, and we're 3 years away. But yeah.
Well, you get my point. Oh, I see. There's like rendering.
Regular version. The X will be the performance-y version, which I do think will be like an off-roadery performance version.
That would
and
be cool.
Maybe a
I don't know
pickup
why
truck.
it's a two-door like a Defender.
I mean, you know,
AI
producer Sean.
render.
It's also in the Thunderstorm.
Yeah, producer Sean. But there will also maybe be other models, which is kind of interesting. We wondered, right?
Other R2s.
Because the R1T and R1S exist. This is just R2.
Can I tell you what Nick wants?
A 3-row R2 rear-facing.
No, he wants an R2 that's a pickup truck, like the Hummer H2 SUT. Because Nick,
I also want that.
Nick, when he's driving to Trump rallies, he takes his H2 SUT.
We gotta fly the flag.
And
This coming from the guy that goes Summers and Nantucket is calling someone else a Trump rally
go for the
attendee.
Sequoia direction? Because like the Sequoia's there.
I want a Lobo edition. Like, give me like a lowered, maybe
Maybe they will.
laying frame. I want suicide doors. I want big wheels.
I know. Doesn't matter.
it's unlikely. I would. You're talking about you want like a literal like low rider.
Kinda,
you want
yeah.
it to be on.
It doesn't have to lay frame. I would go with just like tucking tire. RJ, if you're listening.
I think that's
Crazy Nick
unlikely.
edition.
I think that's unlikely.
But it's not impossible.
There will be a performance version. Is what's likely. There will be an off-road
SVT
version.
Lightning. Maybe that's what this is.
There will be an
foreshadowing.
off. This isn't made by Rivian.
This isn't real.
There will be an off-road version. There will be a performance version.
I
and
think
then
that's probably
R3 will
accurate.
come, and it's even smaller, and it's like the Gulf Country. And then
Yes, it is like the Gulf Country. 100%.
And then and that'll be that.
Or the Delta Integrale is
You
what
know,
I
one
think.
of my greatest moments in life was actually on Nantucket last summer. A man had a Golf Country.
Were you at a rally?
Love
Do you know this story?
Yeah.
And he was there at the little market in my town, and he's parked there with his Golf Country, and I walked up to him. And I never walk up to people with cars because then they'd be like, oh my God, it's Doug DeMuro. We get into a whole thing. And I walk up to him and I say, cool car. And he didn't recognize me at all. He didn't know who I was.
What a dream.
And so I was able to have a real conversation with a person about a car without getting into the whole, oh my God.
What a dream.
You know, and it was incredible. It was and he told me all about the Golf Country. And I knew a lot of the stuff, but I was cherishing the moment.
Yeah.
You know?
That novelty wears off. As someone that frequently has conversations with people who don't know who I am about cars. You know, one or two are great, but after that, they're just strangers talking to you.
Yeah.
Prefer to keep to myself. I see someone coming up, I put the AirPods in, you know, like, oh, hey, Jim, Joe. Yeah, no, I'm sorry, that expense report, yeah. You know?
You're too friendly for that.
Jesus.
It's a real shame.
Last story, there are bigger tariffs. All right, time to move on to the top car segment.
Wait. Okay. Last week, the president announced that he was increasing tariffs on vehicles from Europe from 15% to 25% because the EU, in his mind, did not sufficiently move quickly enough to actually like finish the like deal on tariffs. It's been interesting to see the reaction. BMW CEO in their earnings call said basically, I don't think this is real. I'm not going to adjust my forecasts. I think this is just like a bluff. Audi's leadership team has instead said, oh no, this is going to really massively impact our ability to release the Q9, the large SUV, which will be built in Bratislava. It's going to like really impact our profits for 2026 and our forecast for 2026. If it happens, it will be interesting.
I really want to take this strategy and apply it to other facets of my life.
I think you should
This
try it.
deal is taking too long to negotiate. I'm raising my price on you.
I bet you really want to.
It might work.
You know, the Audi Q9,
Yeah.
I've been hearing there's going to be 3-row Audi and Porsche SUVs my entire life.
The Q7 exists, but yeah.
It's like but large one. It's like the mid-engine Corvette. Like my whole life, there had been rumors.
Right. And
the
then
Bronco.
one day, it happens.
Yeah, or the Bronco coming
Bronco
back.
was forever, dude.
Forever. Yeah, tariffs bad. We'll kill everybody. Let's see if it happens. I'm more of the opinion of the BMW CEO.
So it has not officially, it's just the
they
threat
have,
of.
on Monday, they said yes. Last week when it was announced, it was the next week, which would be this week. On Monday, they said, yes, this is still for sure 100% happening. It's going to increase to 25%. Have yet to see that happen.
Right. And
So
Trump's doing a lot of bluffing right now in general. You're also got to be making the calculus if you're any company CEO is affected by tariffs. You're 18 months into administration. It's only 48 months long. Trump is trying desperately to make everybody believe he's not a lame duck, but you do wonder what happens at the midterms, especially when you look at his approval ratings, which are unusually low.
Yeah.
And then he really becomes a lame duck if he loses Congress. And so at that point, the automakers are probably sitting here like, you think you're going to do, let's just see how this goes.
Let's extend the Odyssey a couple more years and just see how this plays
Well,
out.
that's built in Ohio by union labor.
Marysville.
Okay, I want to move on to the Talk Cars segment. The Talk Cars segment is, of course, brought to you by Nick's merch. Nick has merch now. It's a little generic. We're going to work on it.
I like it.
We're going to work on
You
it.
just don't like it because it's shade at you saying I'd rather drive a Land Rover than I'd rather push a Land Rover than drive a Land Cruiser. Some of us are real men that put up with Land Rovers. Some of us drive Toyotas.
Nick, I have owned in my life.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
I have owned in my
A
life.
lot of Toyota
1,
trucks
2,
because
3,
you
4.
need reliability.
I've had 4 Land Rovers. How many is that for you?
I have 2 right now. How many do you have?
And one of them you do have to push.
Fourth.
What's the fourth? You tell me.
Yeah, you had the L322. You
Yeah.
had a Range Rover Classic.
Yeah.
You had your Defender.
Uh-huh.
What's the fourth?
I had
the other
another
Defender.
Defender. I had
The
2 Defenders.
D90
A
and then
green
the
one and
new
a
Jeep.
yellow
Oh, I forgot about the
Yeah.
green one.
I had that green one, 50,000.
The one that he claimed he was going to keep forever,
Yeah, I
then
remember
didn't,
that.
then made a video recently saying he's never going to say that.
I cannot get that car to last. Like my big SUV family car, I cannot get it to last. I've tried now 3 different cars, that all of which I just wanted to keep for a long time, and all 3 of them just didn't last for various reasons. The green Defender was not good enough for my purposes and wouldn't work anymore now because it didn't have a 3rd row. The Land Cruiser, honestly, the 200 series Land Cruiser is a disappointment.
Yep.
And the Sequoia is just like,
Yeah,
I'm doing it,
It's
and
bad.
I'm going to keep doing it. And every time I sit on this podcast and talk about how I'm going to replace it with an LX700H, I am not going to do that because it is just not feasible with car seats the way I need to use it. But man, I just cannot get a car to last in that segment of my life.
Suburban, here we come.
I do want to talk about one car that's lasting in the talk car segment today. Can you pull up the picture, please? This is an event. This is a recent event that happened in my life. This is me and producer Sean, and we went to 5761 McFadden Avenue in Huntington Beach, which is where the Carrera GT was designed.
Wow.
Me and Sean went there, and you know, a lot of people, the Carrera GT is this very complex, technical, precision instrument engineered.
Yep.
And so a lot of people associated with Germans, and the Germans are, oh, it's so Porsche, it was made in this new factory, high tech. It was designed in a strip mall in Huntington Beach in Orange County. And me and Sean happened to be there for other business, and we went by it, and there's a picture of us in front of the Carrera GT's
sweet.
design studio. The story of the Carrera GT design is one of the all-time greats. Samsung, the technology company, had decided they wanted to build a car. And so they got this office and hired a team of designers. And then they decided late in the process that they didn't want to build a car. And so they sold the designers to Porsche.
Can't sell people.
No, but they sold the design studio to Porsche. And so the Carrera GT was designed by people who originally were hired by Samsung in California to create a Samsung car. This wasn't like done at the highest levels of Porsche to create this super. It was done by guys who 3 weeks earlier were designing a car from a company that makes handheld tablets. And there's your Carrera GT story for the day. Me and Sean got to see it IRL. What was there? Like a BP regional office or something? Some gas company. Yeah. They were probably like, what the hell? Why are these people taking a picture outside?
National security risk.
Now you know. You don't have any thoughts on this? This is a momentous thing.
You've owned that car for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Carrera GT has been a big part of your life.
Yeah.
For decades.
Yeah.
Did you ever consider stopping there before?
No, I would never go out of my way. This was literally on our way somewhere, and I was like, wait, I think we're going near this. Like, there is no chance in my life that I would have ever even diverted 10 minutes to go and do this.
I'm so glad you had that experience, though, with an Edge and a Corolla Cross in the background.
Yeah, no, it was a little and I think it was something nice.
That's an Escalade.
And no, it wasn't an Escalade. It was something good. And it may be an Odyssey, I think.
Nope.
It does make you wonder that whole story you had about the Ford EV and they wouldn't let Jim Farley in. Maybe it's in a strip mall somewhere and he doesn't want to go.
I mean, to be
He
clear,
doesn't wanna go.
It is. They said that they moved to a larger office space because they hired more people, but it's in a
It's like
suburban
it shares
office
a wall
park
with the Rubios, you know? Like Porsche just didn't have that good of storytelling to be like, oh, it's Skunk Works, whatever. It was just like in a random strip mall. And Ford's like,
that,
I got it.
There are stories from the design team of designing Carrera GT where like they'd be hashing out something over lunch at a strip mall sushi restaurant at one of those wide intersections in Huntington Beach. And they're talking about like Carrera GT design. Like, this is real.
But a lot of automakers have had California design offices.
This unfortunately did not rise to that level.
No.
Porsche didn't use the office really after the Carrera GT. And there was obviously a lot of design work that was done in Germany as well. However, the concept car was done here completely. And in my opinion, that was it. Like, the concept car is the Carrera GT. And then after that, the Germans and these guys kind of collaborated more. But yeah.
Do you consider the Carrera GT to be a beautiful design?
No. However, design, style, I don't think it's a beautiful style. I think as a concept, as a product of design, I think it is a fantastic one. The way that it all works well, the way that the carbon chassis is part of the trim is really cool. I do not believe it is a well-styled car. No, I think it looks like an El Camino.
I think it looks really nice. Like, I think it's handsome, understated. I like the subtlety of it.
Yeah, I like that it's subtle.
Yeah.
I think that the big mistake, there are a few mistakes. It looks like a long Boxster. Like, in order to make the room for the engine, they had to add space, and they just added space like a limo company down the street from this office.
That's right.
And then also, to me, the biggest flaw was the rear, where it should come from the roof and kind of sweep all the way down the roof line, all the way down to the rear bumper. That's what everyone does. But they started it like lower, this sort of like rear haunch, and it looks like a pickup truck as a result, especially seen from the front quarter angle. It's not really well done.
Typed very poorly.
And this opinion is not...
I mean, it wasn't successful when it came out, so Obviously, they
think
should
the
have gone
style-
crazier with the design, perhaps.
I don't think the style had anything. This angle is its worst angle, and you can see it on.
I
go to a
apologize.
different one. And you can see exactly what I'm talking about from here. It makes a 90 degree and basically an L shape. And if you look at any other car, any other supercar, mid-engine car, they designed to avoid that. One of my favorites is the Maserati Merak. Pull up one of those. Maserati Merak or Bora. Either one. Yeah, Bora is easier to type. Go to images. I'll show you. This is one of the most bizarre things you're going to see. So the Bora, no, the Merak. You have to go to the Merak. The Bora is like that, but it's harder to tell.
Merak.
M-E-R-A-K.
Oh, sure.
Or
I spelled it wrong. It doesn't
EK
matter.
works. Okay, so click on this picture. So this car had the same problem, an L shape.
Yeah.
And you know what they did? They just stuck.
The flying buttress?
These buttresses
Yeah.
have no purpose, but they knew that they didn't want to make the car have an L shape and look like a Lotus Europa or a pickup truck.
yeah.
And so it actually completely changes the profile of the car. But if
like
you
that.
really look at what they are, they're just total BS. They're just stuck on there after the fact looking stupid. And the Carrera GT probably should have had something like that. But the design of the Carrera GT was very conservative at every level, and that included the humps, which should have been larger. And there's my Carrera GT take of the day.
Interesting.
What a take.
A CGT take I actually enjoyed. A first for this podcast.
Formula One engine.
Cars and Bids is coming live to Sonoma Raceway for Velocity Invitational. We've curated an incredible selection of top-tier auctions that will end live in the Velocity Invitational paddock. Featured cars will be physically on site for attendees to experience, while our full online audience bids alongside them. Already confirmed, we have a 1964 Alfa Romeo Giulia TZ, courtesy of the Peterson Automotive Museum, an incredibly low-mile Midnight Purple R34 GTR, and many other insane car surprises. And the event itself is 3 days of car culture overload. Historic race cars running wheel to wheel, open paddock access to the rarest machines on earth, modern hypercars, concourse classics, drift cars, all set in Sonoma wine country. Cars and Bids fans get 10% off general admission tickets, including family and couples bundles. You can head to viavelocity.com, click get tickets, and use code THIS, THIS. Come say hi. See you in Sonoma.
Nick, tell us about your Talk Cars experience.
I also had a nice, lovely trip with a Cars and Bids staffer.
Oh, yeah?
Me and Ryan Lopez. I got the E55 back from Atlanta. The manual swap is done.
Yeah.
Ryan showed up at my house, actually woke me up. I was worried he was going to be late, and I overslept. And we drove to Los Angeles for Wagonfest.
Two people who, the two of them trying to meet a time, a scheduled time.
It's amazing we made it.
Literally the blind leading the blind.
So Wagonfest is the biggest gathering of station wagons, I'm told, in the U.S.
Shout out to Avant
it looked
and the
amazing.
Peterson.
We had everything from a Ferrari 456 Venice to a ton of like CTS V wagons, a lot of AMG wagons, B5 S4, like really RS4 rather, really cool stuff. And then the Peterson was open to all the attendees and saw the Fast and the Furious exhibit. Like it was just really, really fun. And like Ryan, I've never gotten to spend a lot of time with him. We started out on the wrong foot because he guessed my age incorrectly by about 10 years. And
I assume.
I was deeply offended.
Yeah.
Yes. And then I realized,
You guess you were 50?
pushing 50 anyways, yeah. And I was a little taken back. I thought he was coming for my job as a fill-in for the podcast.
Yeah.
But turns out
He
we
is.
really like each other.
I love Ryan Lopez. I've been telling people
I
this
love Ryan.
forever because you meet Ryan Lopez and your initial impression is, oh my God, this person's insane. These guys hired this person. But then you spend time with him and you're like, thank God there's Ryan Lopez in my life.
And Ryan was the hero of the day. So drive up to LA, made great time. I said, check out how fast it can go. You know, we had a little pull. And then I got a check engine light, misfire, limp mode. And Ryan fixes it with his bare hands, no tools.
What was it?
It was a fuel sending issue. Ryan Lopez went in there. He fully diagnosed. He replaced the fuel system actually right there on the side of the road.
It was a skunk
raw
work,
muscle.
Yeah, it was a skunk work project. Jim Farley was not
Farley
invited.
was not allowed.
Yes, it was at a strip mall in Huntington Beach.
That part's probably true.
Yeah, we fixed it, and yeah, it'll be live by the time, or I don't know. I'll post something about it. But yeah, no, the E55 is fantastic. We've been joking internally in our chat group here that the third row wagon, which I've discovered, but apparently you guys already have, is a game
Sure do.
changer. My daughter, but both of my kids now only want to ride around in the back seat of the wagon.
Folks,
So
I'm going to tell you something about Nick. Nick has decided to buy all the cars I own. This is an interesting thing that's happened here.
We're going to just air
we're
this
going to go
publicly.
with this again.
Nick has
We're gonna
come
air this
in.
publicly?
The thing I like about it is because it was on this podcast that he said, that I'm not going to buy any more BS cars. And then
he hasn't.
in the months after that, he's decided to buy all of my cars. And so my presumption is that he's next going to buy a 993 twin turbo.
No, he'll buy a 4S.
Yeah, he buys like a worse but newer
964
version.
turbo, maybe.
It's
I
like
don't
what
know.
he does.
Something a little off.
Yeah. He's definitely not getting a 964 turbo. Can you imagine
good
making
point.
a
No, good
964
point. Good
I will
point.
get the 996 turbo because that's the value play.
tip?
Yeah.
Non-tip.
By the way, if you like Nick, like Ryan a lot, he has a bunch of videos on the Key channel, so go check that out.
That one with the Earth Roamer is my favorite one so far.
That's a good video.
It was so good, including when Ryan has the reaction to almost scraping the car and like some dicey off-road moments, but it's really good entertainment.
The Key YouTube channel. Go do it. Go see Ryan Lopez in action. He's never going to be here on this podcast. He's sitting over there. We just talk about him, but you can see him in real life.
I listened to the podcast last week and did not watch it, and Ryan was on it last week. You apparently walked off at the very end.
Yeah,
and
that's
then you
right.
see Ryan saying goodbye
I
to
walked
people.
off because Filippo wouldn't stop promoting stuff. At the end, I was like, as a joke, I was like, "You want to promote anything else?" And it was like, "Actually, two things. First off, jeez, Filippo."
I was just promoting Ryan.
Okay, I want to move on to the. What else you got?
Can I say one thing?
Yeah. Is it going to be a promotion for something?
No.
Okay.
But the first I want to know, you have the word clarity, and I hope you're talking about a Honda.
Do you want to do that? Talk cars?
I do, because I got to know what it is.
All right, I got a sad, very sad story for you. Sean knows what it is. I got a very sad story for you. This week, our editor, our video editor, and helper to Sean during the podcast,
Wait,
Nick
this is not about a
Stafford,
Honda Clarity.
was hit. He was driving his Kia Telluride.
Oh, no.
And he was hit by a car changing lanes, and that car was a Honda Clarity.
What?
Pull up a picture of a Honda Clarity.
I don't feel like
And I
this
thought
is
to myself, no, pull it up. This is part of the point. I thought to myself, you know, when you're in an accident, your first response is stop, pull over, like make sure that nothing else worse happens. Yeah, pull up this picture, right? Yeah. But if you're in an accident with a Honda Clarity, I was thinking that's the one time when you should try to increase the damage, because you really want one less. You're like doing the, you really, like, look at it, right? It's really a bad situation. It was unfortunate from day one. And this was Nick's chance to destroy one. To get one more off the road.
First of all, you know that any damage to the side is totaling that car. You got to assume they don't make parts.
I can't
They broke
believe-
the mold. They're just like, we're ashamed.
Click on this one. I can't believe that this car ever came out looking like this.
I mean, do you remember that cross tour though? That was even worse.
No, it was not worse than covering the rear wheel arch.
Dude, I don't know.
For
Have you
fuel
seen?
economy or
right.
hydrogen economy.
It's funny because Honda has been trying to like beat the Prius since the Prius came out, and they've come up with all this crazy stuff.
well, fuel cell, the Mirai also is.
And this, but this wasn't a fuel cell; it was a plug-in hybrid. There were fuel cell Clarities, but not 99.9% of them, including the one that hit him, was just a plug-in.
I
hybrid.
assumed it was the fuel. I was going to make a joke about if he got thirsty while waiting for the police. He
could just drink
from the
thing.
tailpipe.
Go back to the overhang picture. I mean, this is really one of the bad cars.
Pull up a cross tour.
No, we're good. We're going to not go down this road. I
It
regret
is worse.
asking.
It
It's
is.
not. Then the covered rear wheel
Look at
arch.
the rear of the cross tour.
It's not a bad looking car. It's also probably the best Honda.
Anyway,
Accord
I
from
felt
that
bad for
generation.
Nick Stafford, but I especially felt bad for the Honda Clarity person who now has to try to get this thing fixed. And I'm sure all they were thinking was, this is my chance. I can finally get out of this thing.
the Honda cross tour is just.
It's
Honda Cross
not
is
worse
fine.
at all. In
It's
fact,
really
this
bad.
is what every
No, go from the
EV
back view. The front view is fine because it's just like a
This is what
lifted
every
Accord.
EV looks like now. This is
No.
what a Model Y looks like today. There is no difference between this and a Q5 Sportback
There's
or an
one-
e-tron Sportback.
No disagreement.
there's
The
not-
4 is actually worse.
There's one in my very progressive neighborhood that I walk by all of the time, and I think I can't believe I have to live with this person.
It is funny because he complains and people complain, but that is what all EVs now look
Yeah,
like.
I do want
Anyway,
to say one thing. I am going to Italy for
going
a couple
to-
weeks in June, which
Okay.
I'm really excited about. We're going all around. We're going south for the first time in years. It's going to be exciting. There are no good, like, rental cars in Europe have gotten worse because all of them now are cars that I would like as a daily driver, I guess, like a hybrid.
Yeah, they're
or
not-
an EV
they're not
or
interesting.
Small SUV.
Right.
I purposely rent the smaller hatchbacks because I want a manual transmission. I refuse to drive in Italy without a manual transmission. I have refused cars and made them give me a manual transmission car.
Right.
Because I am who I am.
Right.
But there's so few. And they're
Yeah.
not great anymore. It used to be that every car was that.
Turo doesn't exist in Italy.
No, it does exist in France.
It's in France.
Yep.
And there's good stuff on Turo in France. Like legit good stuff, but they're not in Italy.
You can rent a Miata, but it's like 5x the price of everything else. And that's not worth
doesn't
it.
have anything cool.
At insane prices.
Malpensa Avis, last time I was there, they offered me a Giulia, which I'm sure
Automatic.
was a 1 liter automatic 38
Automatic.
horsepower.
I don't do such things.
I turned it down and took a C-Max instead.
Good car.
They're both bad. I mean, the Giulia is good, but the one that they would have given me, which would have had hubcaps.
I will have an Opel Astra or equivalent or
Oh,
something.
what a shame.
Last time I had a Peugeot 208, which has a small steering wheel.
Yeah.
It was great.
Can
Exceptional
I make
good
a
car.
suggestion? You should go for Volkswagen Up or similar.
Too small. Also, they don't make the Up anymore.
Too small in what way?
They don't make the Up anymore.
Too small in what way? Okay,
I've
but they
gotten
make
used to some amount of like comfort for the
Oh my
about
God.
1,000. We do 1,000 miles. in a week.
Wow, these luxurious.
we literally do 1,000 miles in a week.
lifestyle creep. You're watching.
I went up to
lifestyle
the
creep.
Polo class.
This is bad. Bad behavior.
I said
I'm
Astra earlier, but it's
quite
not that.
disappointed.
But if anybody knows of like better options, let me know.
We don't.
Yeah, I know. I didn't mean you. I
I think you should
that.
buy something that we want to buy anyways.
I have
Vet it for
considered
us, and
that.
then we ship it
I've
back.
considered that, but it's
5
not.
hours
We've
for
learned that it's not that it is doable, haven't we?
I don't know. I don't.
We looked into this for you.
In Italy, to purchase a car, you need to be an Italian. But you need to have it. You need to
But
have
you can
Italian
buy
paper.
one. There's like some paperwork you can do to drive a car there if you're not.
Yeah, get an
We
oven
I
tape.
looked into this. Oh wow.
We're
the
not
only
doing
one
it again.
missing.
We're not doing it again. I got asked about. You know what? This is the thing about these cars. These bad European cars that Americans idolize. It'd be like Europeans idolizing a Ford Taurus. And I
We
got
do, by
interviewed.
the
You know,
way.
my old
Yes,
A-Class.
yes.
My old A-Class got hit on the street 6 months ago and totaled. Thank God. And it's at Copart now.
The buyer of your old A-Class, the prior owner, then bought your A2.
Well, it's a little complicated because, and that's part of the story. The A-Class was that I imported was so bad that I sold it. I hated it. I sold it to a guy in Texas who hated it. He sold it to a guy in Texas who hated it, and then he sold it to a guy in California. And that car had 4 owners in a year because everybody got into it thinking this will be cool, and then it turned out to be utter ass. And finally, it got hit and it got destroyed. And so it's at Copart, and Matt Hardigree called me, who works for the Autopian, and he said, "Hey, your old A-Class at Copart, we're doing an article. Do you want to say anything about it?" And I said, "Quote me, that car got what it deserved." And that's the problem with the Aventime. Like we do
for
this,
sure.
and it's like, oh, it's so cool. And then the car comes here, and 1 month into the multiply, you were like,
Yeah.
I love the though.
I suspect Tony Airlines might be ready to move on by the time I ship him his replacement hubcap.
Look at this car,
really?
though.
Did he say that?
No, I just suspect it.
Because you've had the
It's
experience.
implied by the
Yeah.
length of his
The
ownership.
fact that he has one at all. Now, if we got a Velsatis, it'd be different because I think that would give me some luxury.
It is more comfortable for sure.
Yeah.
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 I should look into that. I could buy a car in Italy.
Do it.
I won't, obviously, but I could.
What you're hoping is that some viewer is like, hey, I'll give you a car
No, I
for
don't
a
want
month.
any kind of responsibility. So I actually will just rent the car from whichever
If you don't-
rental car company was cheapest when I booked it months ago.
If you don't want any kind of responsibility, you should do what I do and get the full insurance.
I've never been in any kind of motor vehicle altercation.
Yeah, but if you get the full insurance, you will be. That's the thing.
I would prefer to avoid that.
No. This is one of the things I do. Listen, I'm
That's
not
too costly.
I'm not wealthy to the point where I can just do whatever I want, but I have enough money now where I can do stuff like buy the full insurance. And when I do that,
Good for you.
I just treat it like a bumper car.
Yeah.
I'm dead serious.
You see a Clarity, you just
I now, whenever
Swap
I go to
paint.
Europe now, I get full insurance, and if it scrapes on something, it scrapes on something.
But-
they sold me the insurance.
Naturally, by virtue of who I am, I just will not scrape it on something.
That's how I felt for a long time too.
Yeah.
And then this last time I was in Italy and I had this van and I had full insurance and I was parking in a tight spot and there was for some reason a row of giant cement pillars next to the
Sure.
parking spots, all of which had paint transfer. And I just, and then you'd think that you'd try to get out of there and park somewhere else. No, I went, and then we were in the spot.
That poor B Series Mercedes. Oh, I can't do that to a car.
well enjoy Italy.
Thank you. I will. I'm excited. There will be a couple weeks that I'm not on this podcast.
I know.
Oh my God.
And I'm sad about
Who's
that.
going to be instead?
Ryan Lopez and I are going to arm wrestle.
What time is this podcast? You know, you could do this podcast early evening.
It's true.
And then you could update us on the rental car thing.
Excellent plan. not a shot.
What about, do they not have little manual SUVs anymore?
There's a chance that that's what I get. Like, I could get a Renegade with a manual.
Yeah.
That exists, but that would be a bad decision
Yeah,
because it's
no.
a bad product.
Yeah, right. I agree.
And so last year, the first car that I got was an Opel Grandland,
yeah.
which is like a mid-size SUV.
Yeah.
It had a manual and a diesel, and it had a little bit of an oil leak issue.
So
that
you
became
gave it
problematic.
back?
I gave it back and I got a picture.
I
of
would
it.
never have done that. I would have just bought some oil. You know what your problem is?
I also really didn't want the Opel Grandland.
You know what
we
your
showed
problem
up at an Airbnb, and the guy legitimately yelled at me about why did I bring that big a car to his town. And I decided that wasn't something I was interested in.
And then you
dealing
spoke to him in Italian and tried
Of
to
course.
explain yourself. Last hot car segment thing I want to discuss is my search for an S210 E55. Folks,
with. That's not what you have written down, buddy.
Sean, SEAN at carsandbids.com. SEAN at carsandbids.com. I want a 2000 or 2001 E55 wagon, silver, post facelift. I don't even care if it has a third row anymore. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. That's what I want.
Thanks to Nick.
One of them came up on Facebook Marketplace in the Northwest. I know about that car. I declined to purchase it. I'm not going to talk bad about it, but I would say that if you were interested in a car, that you maybe wouldn't want that one either.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, I'm still looking. If you have one of these, find it. Additionally, I am looking for a Supra. I want a Mark IV red Mark IV turbo manual. I'm ready to buy today. SEAN at carsandbiz.com. Don't send automatics. We know about the automatics. If the car is listed on the internet, assume that I've seen it.
Left-hand drive.
Send me, I want LHD. I want a USDM Supra turbo.
Are you actually ready to do this?
Tomorrow.
What about a month from now?
Yeah, a month from now, 2
Great.
months from now,
You're
tomorrow.
doing it.
I'm doing it.
Wow.
Mark IV Super Turbo, Renaissance Red, stick, not modified, and
That car may not exist. Not
It
only
gets
not
narrower
for sale,
every time he talks.
an E50. Eventually, I'm going to have to compromise on color, and I know I'm going to have to do that.
and mods.
I also want a
Mods
98.
are reversible, a lot of them anyway.
You'd accept light mods. like actually light
I
mods.
need to pass smog.
Yeah.
And that E55. That's what I'm looking for. SEAN at carsandbids.com. Send Sean an email if you have those things. Sean is paying top dollar.
You know what? I'm going to just put it out there. I'm going to create the alias right after this. You can also email Sean with the other spelling at carsandbids.com.
Oh, good
We'll
call.
make sure it
Forward
reaches
to
him.
him.
Yeah,
Forward
of
to
course.
him.
We'll make sure it
Any
reaches him.
spelling of Sean at carsandbids.com.
Any realistic spelling that I'm going to think about in the next minute.
SHAWN,
Yeah, that's only one.
SHAUN.
No.
I'm excited
That's
for you
not
to
a
follow
spelling.
in my footsteps
Do Shane also.
on an E55
Shane,
wagon.
That's true, Nick. I'll
Yeah.
be following your footsteps. Of course, I had 2 AMG wagons before you were, while you were still money shifting your TTRS. back when you were in the money
Yeah,
shifting
you had
days.
a bad color E63 automatic.
That is true. And then I had a good color E63 automatic.
Did you?
Yeah, I had a white one when I first moved here. You knew me when I owned this car.
You think that's a good color?
Yeah, it was nice. Okay, it's time to move on to the market report.
Yeah.
And is the market report brought to you by Cars and Bids?
Yeah.
The market report is brought to you by Nick's merch line.
$22.58. plus
Really?
shipping.
That's what that costs?
That's it.
Sorry,
Can you believe it?
That's with no profit margin?
Look, Whistling Diesel's charging like $50 a shirt.
Can I get clarity? That's what I, as a consumer, would pay? Or that's what
Yeah, that's what you
your
would pay.
break even is?
No, I make like $11.27 or whatever.
Wow. Okay, in other words, the shirt will last 3 laundry cycles,
No,
people.
Gildan makes it.
That feels right.
But
It's a
you
poly
get-
blend.
It's $7 per wear because after the 3rd wear, the shirt has destroyed
I've actually
itself.
washed this once already.
Or you can have a lifetime of happiness. Just go to carsandbids.com.
Or go to carsandbids.com
something
and
like
get
that.
good merchandise. Wait a minute. Yeah, we're not trying to sell his. We have merchandise.
do.
My next drop is going to be Doug DeMuro copies all of my cars.
Carsandbids.com.
So niche.
Where's our merchandise?
Merch.carsandbids.com.
I don't know how to get to it, but for
Merch.carsandbids.com.
God's sake, I bet you can figure it out.
Merch.carsandbids.com.
I want a 2001
Email Sean.
E55
Email Sean
wagon.
with the instructions on how to.
Email Sean with your
buy
shirt
bu-
size.
It's like the old mail-in things. You need to write down handwrite
So,
like in the boxes.
The market report is brought to you by Cars and Bids. Carsandbids.com.
The web app or the mobile app?
Doug, what you got for us?
Okay, I want to talk about pace cars. Can you pull it up, please? You saw
Yeah.
this? You saw this yesterday?
I didn't.
All right. We didn't sell or did sell, I don't know. But we had a Camaro pace car. Folks, my guilty pleasure, like Nick's guilty pleasure is watching Newsmax after his wife goes to bed. My guilty pleasure.
I don't even know what that is.
San Diego company. He's local.
Yeah, exactly. And
don't-
local to North
I
Carolina.
don't.
My guilty pleasure is pace cars. I love the Indy pace car versions of all the cars.
So, to be clear, these were not cars that were literally pace cars.
The actual pace car needs to be preserved somewhere. Right?
Yeah.
That fella has a museum to him. The fellow, Roger, what's his name? You know, the Penske. He's got all
That's
the,
his
every
name.
time he won Indy, he's got the pace car and the real car.
Wow.
I don't want any part of that. I want the BS version,
Yep.
the replica.
Yep.
This was, somebody, first off, bid to $9,100. This, for
With only
$900, this is-
60,000 miles.
this is cool. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
Some dude got the pleasure of driving this 60,000. How cool would it be to drive around a pace car for 60,000 miles?
Yeah.
I want a fourth gen
wouldn't
Camaro
be that cool,
Firebird.
but it's okay.
It would be so cool. Anyway, what my point is, pace cars are cool, even if you don't think they are, and they are cheap.
They are. Because
And-
they're always the worst version of that GM product.
No, it's a Z28.
There were a lot of GM products that
With an
were
automatic.
very questionable.
You're missing the point. Click on the seats. Once you see the
let's
seats,
look at the rest of the
no,
pace
go back
car.
to the car. Go to the interior and you will
Dude.
see. Go to the interior.
Oh, wow. I forgot about that. Yeah. All right. Point taken.
I'd mess with that.
I grant you that. But like,
Go to the back seats.
The rest of them, we apparently struggle to sell pace cars.
Yeah, no.
Well, it's hard
everyone
to pay
does.
a premium for a car that looks like that.
Everyone struggles to sell pace cars because they're very limited and they have this sort of special pizzazz around
Yep.
them. But ultimately, they are not that desirable, and they're always really easy to find because they're kind of always for sale because they were saved and really.
Yeah, and they're well preserved.
They're
which
all
is
well
nice.
preserved.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if they made 500, all 500 still exist and are like socked away, and so they're not valuable. And yes, they were 90s cars mostly. They're not only GM. So here's an interesting factoid.
it's mostly.
Back in the day, the Indy 500 pace car, there used to be like a fight between who would actually pay. Would it
Yeah.
be Chrysler? Would it be Ford? Would it be GM? And at some point that ended, and now GM has paced for decades, and it's stupid. But there used to be a fight. John Mellencamp's wife drove an Oldsmobile Bravada as an Indy pace car
Wow.
in like 2002.
Wow.
Needless to say, they didn't make a pace car edition of that.
Stabilitrack?
Stabilitrack.
Pretty cool, actually.
Look at those seats.
Yeah.
$9,100. Now it didn't sell,
that Bravada.
but that's what it was worth.
Yeah.
02, you said?
The final gen Bravada.
I prefer the up to 2000.
No one else does.
No, not like as a car, but
Pull up Bravadas.
no.
Nick, you know this car?
We
Oh,
have
yeah.
actually hosted it. Have one.
We had a Jimmy of
We
that
did.
era.
I reviewed a really
but
clean
you,
one.
you reviewed
I do remember
prior
that.
to that point. You reviewed a
I reviewed
2000.
both of those. I reviewed both of those cars. Seriously.
I love this Bravada.
Yeah.
Not a good car,
The
but I
next
love it.
gen
The
was the
next gen
one
is
you
like
want.
the Trailblazer gen.
But I'll tell you something, a 4.3 V6, which is an engine I made fun of constantly when I was growing up because it had 190 horse out of 4.3 liters. Over time, when your mindset shifts and reliability and longevity and durability become your interest, the 4.3 liter V6 you start to really get into.
Yep.
Sounds like a Toyota owner.
Dude, that pace car for $9,100, and the fact that somebody got to drive it 60,000 miles,
Got
that
to,
dude was
had
just
to.
daily in a V8
Somewhere
Camaro
in
pace
between.
car.
Filippo, that Grand Sport.
I know it looks so
Got a
good.
bed.
I want that car so bad. I like my 90s GM,
Yep. Who doesn't?
like deep
Sold
down.
for 23.
Oh,
That could have been you.
7,000 miles, but that is
20.
And look at
3.
this, the AMG GT Coupe was also on my list of like, man, every week those get more attractive.
I was not interested in that Grand Sport. I think it was in Florida.
By the way, I think we have another Grand Sport that's live by the time you watch this.
Ooh, is it a nice?
the
coupe?
blue,
It is,
so cool.
I think, about an equivalently nice coupe to this.
Man, this car is so
Legitimate question: is that the only car to pull off black wheels well?
If you think it pulled it off well, maybe.
I do. It is part of the look.
Project 8.
Yeah, maybe.
It's the only car I would ever
Project
consider.
8 could have any wheels, and I'd still think it's cool. Put
Anyway.
Renault teddy bears on it, I'm still into it.
Well, that's cool on anything.
Yeah, totally. Pace cars are the bargain of the century.
Can I talk about C6s?
Of course. Filippo wants to talk about Corvettes.
I just want to talk about C6s
We're already
and
there,
C8s.
so.
But, all right, the other day, we sold this, which must be the single nicest C6 Z06 left. It's in a color, has 8,500 miles.
Super late year.
Like California owned, pretty much on
Wow.
the only modification was something minor.
Yep.
Sure, right? Like LED light bulbs and
Fog lights to that.
Great.
And they pulled a fuse.
60 grand.
Yeah.
That is both a lot for a C6.
Yeah.
but
8,500
such a
bucks.
bargain for a 7-liter V8, the nicest one of these.
Yeah, I mean,
Pretty much.
it depends what you're looking for. Like, I presume this is going to go to someone who's also going to use it primarily as a show car, like
I know,
this
but
owner
that's
must
a
have.
deal. That's
yeah,
not,
but
like,
there are better C6 Z06 deals.
No, but like the fact that the highest echelon.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's also like no mile
It's
cars.
a 30 to
but,
60 car.
But like that feels like a
Yeah.
bargain for the top
Now,
Corvette.
here's a question for you. For this same money, you could get a C8.
Yeah, I'd rather have a C6.
I would.
Z06.
I'd rather have a C8.
Can I? Fine, I'll talk about C8s. C8s are getting down to have retained their value, but are dropping. Right?
Yeah, not
I
Spykers.
did notice. All right, this Z06 convertible.
Yeah.
I'd rather have a
Sold
C8.
130. It's a lot of money.
Yep.
Do you know what sticker was on this?
Z06 convertible 3LZ, but a lot of options. I mean,
195.
yeah, something high.
182. It's up there. So
Yeah.
C8s in general, we've said they're holding their value pretty well because they have not dropped past high 50s.
Yeah.
On like a 70
The
sticker for a
expensive ones
base.
are falling.
But the expensive ones are 50
The
grand off.
Z06, I think especially because ZR1 came out pretty quick after.
Yeah.
My buddy Brett made an offer at a dealer on a new Z06 was of like 10 under, thinking that they would be like, and they on the spot were like, yep, nope, let's do it.
Wow.
Let's do the paperwork. He was like, oh my God.
Brett, by the way, ended up with an M Coupe.
An M Coupe.
Yeah.
But he still talks about how he wants a Z06, don't we all? They're amazing cars, but it's still big money. I mean, I think that the story, the really desirable story with the C8 is value. And so at 180,
Yeah, why are you doing that?
it's a tough car. It
Agreed.
starts to get to be a tough car at that
It's
price
interesting
point.
how much the top end. Like, buy a base C8. If you want to retain value, buy a base C8.
Yeah.
Turns out to be the answer.
Yeah.
For once, being cheap pays off.
Hell yeah.
And honestly, a base C8 is such a thrill
plenty.
that it's like totally fine.
I thought the same way the C5. The base is plenty fun. We'd all prefer
Yeah.
the Z06.
for,
but like,
especially for 11.
for the majority of drivers, it has
Yeah.
more power than you're going to know what to do
Absolutely.
with.
Yep.
On that subject, I want to talk about the Caprice. Did you see this Caprice?
No.
sale? We sold a Caprice PPV for more money than I was expecting.
Wow,
16. But this is the dream Caprice PPV. You know about this car?
Not this one. No. I know
but
Caprices in general. Yeah.
This car was Australian built and it was only sold to government fleets. So
Yep.
you had to be, or fleets in general.
Yep.
But this is a good one because a lot of them were converted into marked police cars and then used and then run over curbs.
Yeah.
This was a detective model.
This
That's what
is
they're
the
called.
one. Yeah.
And so it doesn't have holes in it for light bars and things like that. Still has hubcaps. Didn't have many miles on it. And you know what I realized? That a Caprice PPV is kind of a backdoor way into owning like a Corvette or a Camaro sedan. It's a 6-liter V8 with 400 horsepower. That's a C6.
Yep.
And
I mean, yeah.
but for 16 grand and it's 4 doors, it's not nice. Like the interior was government
that's-
fleet,
Understatement. Yeah.
but it's 16 grand and it's still a big old V8. Like and this one wasn't really used much.
Yeah.
60,000 miles is a 15-year-old car.
I should say,
mean,
it is not actually the V8 from the C6 Corvette.
it's a different motor.
It's a different motor entirely. It has notably less power, but it is a cool
What do you
car.
mean notably less
350.
power? Go down. How much power did this have?
350, 355.
What did the and 384 pound
I
feet?
thought a base C6 had 400.
Yeah, 360 to 400. Dude,
15%.
the Giulia Quadrifoglio had 505 horse when the M3 had 425.
436.
Oh, this is a late.
It is a late one.
You know,
I know.
Late one.
I mean, all of that is true, but you can get an S55 that meets all of that criteria and
AMG,
is way nicer
Not
inside for
BMW
half the
motor.
price.
AMG.
$8,000 buys you a nice S55
yeah,
AMG.
but Nick, that's the point.
and you
I'm
don't
making.
have a fleet sale interior.
You
You,
don't.
have more power.
You gotta ask.
It checks all the boxes.
For $4,000 less.
But
do you not
Nick-
buy this?
Look
Nick.
at that. It doesn't even have headlights. Someone Control X them and forgot the Control V.
But like, that's the thing. Like the Caprice is going to be relatively affordable to own. Do you understand kind of where I'm headed with this?
TCO?
TCO is what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Yeah, I know that this doesn't matter. To, guy money shifts a TT, rebuilds a motor, doesn't care.
You got $4,000 left over for maintenance. What's it gonna
That's all
cost?
you'll need.
maintenance.
That's all you'll need.
This is cool. Also, the gray
$2
looks.
grand for headlights right there.
The gray looks good.
Yeah, it's a nice looking car. This is a backdoor way into owning a nice G8 or a nice C6 Corvette or a CTS-V without making a big splash. There's one other market report we got to talk about, which is
Oh, mine. Wow. SLS. You guys have a very nice one that is
do.
not sold yet. And I think that's the nicest one. These cars still blow my mind because it came after the SLR and is arguably better in a lot of ways. They
Worse
are
than others.
much more affordable The Roadsters in particular are like a significant discount over the fixed
They're
roof.
such a bargain.
But the Roadsters aren't.
But all of they're just such a cool car, and I think it blows people away in terms of like how special it is. I mean, to buy that for 83 or to buy a coupe for mid 100s.
Specialness for 83 is high.
People
the
are
Roadster,
buying
I
base
disagree.
911s that
but
have nothing interesting
an
about them.
AMG
for that
GT is faster than this car, more agile than this car.
This is a beautiful car.
Yeah, look
that
at this.
feels special.
AMG GT is beautiful and feels special.
You're going to win your small
come
town.
on.
They're going to win your
Beautiful.
small town Concours in this, and an AMG GT, they're going to think you're another dentist.
I totally disagree. I think 99.99999% of people seeing those two cars driving down the road will think they are exactly the same car.
I will think that SLS is cooler.
And the AMG GT is faster and cheaper. The coupe is a different story. If you go back to the coupe that we're selling right now,
with the doors.
that is cool. Like
Yeah.
the doors, a lot of cars have open doors that open like that, like up.
Yeah.
No cars have true gull wings, except for this and the gull wing.
Yeah.
And look at that. I mean, maybe the photos are just really good, but and funny enough, this guy said that he bought it and just liked his Porsche better, basically. But look at that. I would have that over a Porsche of the same price point every day of the week without thinking twice.
It is not a car for Porsche people. It is actually a surprisingly precise driving experience.
Yeah.
But it isn't this. It's definitely more of a V8 muscle car. You can't get your stitching. You can't get. It's like it's not. It doesn't have like the Porsche.
It's like a muscle car
crowd
vibe,
to it.
yeah.
It's more of a muscle car vibe, and it's more of like a kind of supercar, maybe even a bit more of a look at me
Which
vibe.
for 83 for a cab is.
Yeah.
I get your point, right?
AMG
This
GT.
doesn't have the doors.
The doors
but it
cost
looks
double.
better than AMG GT.
Yeah.
I think the AMG GT looks great. This looks more classic.
maybe you. I think that
The long
virtually
hood
everybody else. The AMG GT has a long hood too.
is longer.
Let's
Feels
get
it.
a tape measure.
Let's get them both. Light up. You see an SLS, and you're like, an SLS.
When I see an SLS coupe, I do say that. Yeah.
Not for a cab.
Roadster, I'm like, AMG GT is better
think
in every
both.
way.
I don't know. I'm a Roadster fan personally.
I do love, to be clear, I've been talking about how great the AMG GT is constantly. Because it is. Exceptional.
This one is really cool. Did you see this? We got this four-door on the site right now, but it has like not annoying wheels. So many of the four-doors, the wheels are like 50s, and
Yeah.
they're just like in your face, like I'm gonna, like it's. I like these wheels,
I like
but
them
it's a
too.
lot. This car is like the subtle, and all the other subtle four-doors are 43s or 53s, and this is a 63, but with the subtle wheels.
I feel like it looks like Filippo spec'd it.
This is the kind of this is the kind of car that a person of your interest level in things wouldn't want.
What is that supposed to mean?
Like, like a showy fella who wants to maybe loudly and proudly talk about some of his political affiliations. Maybe he wouldn't want one of these. But a nice Swiss gentleman who wants to be under the radar but still enjoys 600 horsephany. That's what
I'm definitely not a nice Swiss gentleman.
Have we ever auctioned a convertible AMG GT? They exist, right?
Yeah. Tons. Many. Look.
It is
Yeah.
a pretty good car. SLS is better looking, but
It looks
Also free.
very similar.
also cheap.
That's the thing. These are a lot cheaper than SLS Roadsters.
Somehow.
And they're faster and newer. And I don't necessarily see a huge benefit to the
We're
SLS
naturally
Roadster.
aspirated men, Nick and I.
This is a great motor. Anybody who says that they want any motor more than the twin-turbo AMG V8 has never driven a twin-turbo
I
AMG
agree with
V8. We have to move on to the questions. The questions, of course, are brought to you by Nick's merch line.
Amazing. I'm going to get like 2 sales today.
For $22.88, you too can have this lovely shirt.
Do I get a kickback for just being
I can-
around this?
I can send you a
shameless promotion.
a promo if you
right,
are
I'll take
willing to
it.
wear it.
No, they're brought to you by by Ryan Lopez's Mechanic Skills. Ryan Lopez, if you floor it and 3 warning lights come on while you're driving on the 405,
Ryan knows what to do.
Ryan Lopez will fix it on the side
He's
of the
been
road
there.
with pure muscle.
He's been
True.
there.
It's very true.
Okay, there's a lot of questions this week. Remember, you too can ask questions. Go to carsandbids.com, click on the community tab,
Yep.
and then there's a space that says podcast questions and ask it. Folks, I was getting questions up until like 5 minutes ago. If you're sitting here watching this thinking, oh, it's too late, it is not too late. Ask us questions. And if you have a good red manual super turbo or a W210 S210 E55 wagon, send it to Sean, SEAN at carsandbids.com.
Or SHAW. Who cares?
Or SHAUN. We're even going to do
Dude, that
Shane.
Ranger.
SHANE. Shane at carsandbids.com.
Pull up that Ranger.
Yeah, flatbed Ranger, Stateside.
I want that. That is so cool. Don't know what I'd do with it, but man,
You need it.
that is worth every penny of $600.
This is like the A-Class, though. Like, yeah, I totally
for
agree.
sure.
But like, we go to the interior. Like,
No, I would start a landscaping business.
I remember this interior. I can tell you everything. Been in so many of these, and I just know that like 6 weeks into it, you're like, well, back in the plastic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
No, I mean, the Ford Explorer is the exact same dash. Yeah.
Exactly.
Totally. And a lot of Fords, honestly. A lot of Ford trucks.
Bench seat in the front's nice.
Then you got a long throw.
Front bench, but with a manual.
Yeah.
Don't put your foot there. One time, I was on a small plane, and they sat me in the front, and I had no leg room, and I was sitting there like this, and my knee over, like it was an hour flight, and my knee over time like started to like move into a control, and I just barely tapped it. The pilot was like, "Don't touch that." I was like, "Oh my God!" I barely contort into the space. That could be you, sitting right next to me, arm around each other in our Ranger Stateside.
That'd
Wow.
be cool. Ranger danger, baby.
Oh wow, Filippo's going through the cars. Okay.
Yep.
First question from JB86. First question: the Porsche Museum has a first gen Cayenne convertible prototype. You ever seen a picture of this? Mm-hmm. Pull it up.
Yeah, the one that looks like kind of a speedster.
Yeah.
I'm a bigger fan of the Newport convertible engineering version, but Porsche, that's so cool.
Had Porsche made this?
I don't know.
Uh-oh, we're in AI mode.
We're in AI mode.
Had Porsche made this, would Doug have bought it? The thing I think is cool, pull up that picture. The thing I think is cool that people don't realize, because the pictures that they've shown are from the side, it does look like this because it was a design study. They were trying to design two
A/B
different rear
testing.
ends. Exactly. And so they put them both on the car. So the real one, this is a rendering, but the real one looks like that. But they only ever show side photos because they don't want anybody to see it.
It's super cool.
So would Doug have bought that instead of the G convertible? No. Next question. Would you have bought it?
For sure.
You'd buy a two-door Cayenne convertible?
I would buy any Cayenne convertible. Convertible SUVs are pinnacle. One day you'll learn this.
Wait a sec.
One day you should get one.
Wait a sec.
We can talk about it.
You'd buy any Cayenne convertible? So if one were to come up on Cars and Bids, would you buy it?
Trust me, I've seen it. I've heard of it. I would have bought it had I acted on Facebook Marketplace quicker.
Yeah, you should have.
I still think that is a very cool car.
You should have regrets.
And I kind of want to put wood paneling on my L405 just to pay tribute to it.
Next question from Seb H9. Hello, Doug. Are there any more ideas in the pipeline for concept car reviews? And if so, can we get small spoilers? Maybe the Cadillac El Mirage. I did actually, so I reviewed a concept car 6 months ago in Detroit. It was a Cadillac Voyage, the 80s concept car. So I reviewed this Cadillac Voyage up in Detroit, and I learned something on this shoot, which is concept cars, though they look like cars, they are not cars. They are display pieces. And I've always known this, but this really drove it home when the guy was like, listen, he's like, we can only drive around the GM campus. We can't go on the street, and we can't go more than 12 miles an hour, and you really don't want to take any bumps. So if you get to a bump, you got to go really, 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 really slow. And one time I got up to a bump, and I went really, really slow, and he said, that was too fast. And so concept cars are rather difficult vehicles to review. However, this is a spoiler. Last week at the Peterson Museum, I reviewed a movie car, which honestly is basically a concept car. Pull up the Jaguar that I reviewed. Do you know what it is?
I don't know what it's called now.
XKR from Die Another Day.
Love this car.
This is one of my all-time favorite movie cars.
I've got this die-cast somewhere.
And there it is right there. That's literally the car, Peterson Museum.
It's like your grandpappy's Jag.
Yep. Except
The gun.
here's an that has a gun. It's also one other main difference from your grandpappy's Jag. It's on a Ford Explorer chassis, and it has four-wheel drive.
Really?
And a Windsor 302.
Wow. They went through a lot of effort.
Anyway, the video's coming, and it's going to be quite a video. Let me just tell you.
You reviewed a couple other things while you were
Yeah, but this was the highlight.
How cool.
They made 8, and a couple of them were on Explorer chassis, including this one. And it's quite something.
That is way more than I expected.
Driving this around LA,
I assume this was just a body kit on a Jag.
No, it's real because it had to like slide around and like really do stuff.
I guess,
And
yeah.
I guess in order to modify it to get the speeds they wanted or the capabilities they wanted, it had to. I think 4-wheel drive was essential because if you've ever driven on ice, rear-wheel drive is like is difficult to control
sure.
anyway. And so once
Did it
they were
look
doing
weird in
that,
person, or I mean, like it looks fairly
the only
normal.
way you can tell the rear offset is wrong. The rear wheel is out further than it should.
Yeah.
But the other way you can tell is the moment you start it, it goes. You know how a Jag you start up. You know, this car it goes like this. So I drove around LA, no exhaust, no muffler, with a big old Ford V8, and
Medium-sized Ford V8.
I was anxious about the police, so I didn't drive it for long, but it was an unbelievable experience. Also, when they gave me the keys, which was a set of house keys, they said, it's only got a 3-gallon tank, so don't go far. And I said, all right. And then I started it, and it made that noise, and I was thinking, well, that was about a half a gallon right there.
Wow. Were you worried the police would have concerns about the gun on the back?
Yeah, we were concerned about the gun, but I was especially concerned about the exhaust note attracting attention
To the gun, yeah.
to the gun. People are like, what is that? Oh, it's a car driving around with a gun.
Yeah.
So we have some problems.
Yeah.
But I got it right back to the museum.
Shout out to the
unscathed.
Peterson.
Unbelievable experience. Anyway, I always wanted this movie car, and I don't anymore. But that
Understandable.
every time I'm around a concept car or a movie car that I've always wanted, I come away thinking I don't want to even see this.
What about the Jurassic Park ML320?
Yeah,
You were there, right?
I was there, but I wonder if it.
We wanted that.
I wonder if it would drive. You know what I mean? What motor does that have? What other stuff did they do to that?
It certainly had some visibility impairments.
This is our favorite movie car.
No, I understand. I'm familiar.
This is Jurassic Park 2, which actually is filmed it was set partially in San Diego. The T-Rex gets loose here in San Diego and kills all sorts of stuff.
We're pretty close to the zoo. Was it at the zoo?
No, the T-Rex, what happened was they were bringing the dinosaur into the port of San Diego. You never seen the movie?
No.
It's one of the great scenes. You remember this?
No.
The dinosaur, they lose contact with the ship. Oh,
Sure.
What happened? Where's it? They're not. The dinosaur's on the ship. They've got the T-Rex. He's sedated inside the ship. They're like, oh, the ship, it's coming, it's coming. They see it on the radar screen. And then they look up and the ship is coming full speed into the port because it didn't slow down because the T-Rex ate everybody on board. You know? And then the ship crashes into the port and then the T-Rex gets loose and starts terrorizing San Diego. And the ML320 by then was no longer part of the movie, but it was a great couple scenes that it was in.
Oh, I'm going to rewatch that.
It's good. It's a good film. Next question from Foy Runna. Dear Doug, are there any car YouTubers, this is for all of us, especially you, car YouTubers that you haven't met but would like to meet? I would love to be a fly on the wall for a Doug DeMuro and Scotty Kilmer conversation.
Same.
I've got no interest in meeting Scotty Kilmer. Obviously, my number one that I would like to meet is Whistling.
Yep.
Who do you want to meet?
I want to have a competition between me, Rich Rebuilds, and Sam Crack on who can do the most half-assed job at repairing a broken car.
You and Rich Rebuilds and Sam Craig.
But they're like good at this.
Yeah.
But like in a joking way. Rich Rebuilds is the all-time greatest automotive YouTuber. I'm just saying.
Agreed.
You agree, right?
Yeah.
You,
He just did an Audi S8 that I just like, I wanted to slow down time and just savor in it, you know?
There is absolutely the funniest person in the
Agreed.
entire
The
history
jokes
of
are
YouTube.
so good.
So good.
Yeah.
Wish I could be on that level, but I have to provide helpful advice. Sean tells me I can't say things like that. Not that I'm anywhere near as funny as Rich Rebuilds, the greatest automotive YouTuber. So that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
I think that would be great. I think it would be cool if you all started with roughly the same car and the same tools and whatever, and you were given like 6 hours and you had whatever comes out of it is what comes out.
It would be like Car Trek, only the first person to escape Sam's farm wins. And no one would win. It would be a never-ending project and we would all just live on Sam's property
and then
the rest
Sam
of our lives.
would kill them all and eat them.
But we would have the most shameless product integrations known to mankind. Just shove it full of ads.
Is that
It
what
would be
Sam
great.
does?
I admire Sam greatly, but let's just say Temu has approached both of us for some heavy promo content, and Sam and I are the only two people in automotive YouTube saying yes. Me, because I got nothing to lose. Sam, I'm not sure why.
Because he's probably got to pay for all this stuff. I want to talk about Filippo and his car YouTubers.
I got nothing for you.
Come on. There's nobody.
I watch not that much car YouTube. I'm
I've
sorry,
let you
everybody.
I have introduced you to so
and I
many
love them all. They're
wonderful
great.
people in our business over the years.
They're delightful.
You got nobody?
I mean, I've met a lot of delightful people. You did have dinner with the folks from Throttle House and didn't invite me. Still angry about that.
No, I had dinner with the Straight Pipes and didn't invite
actually,
you.
Both happened.
I'm angry about both with the folks from the Throttle House.
Right. Throttle House also came to the office, so I have met them.
Okay.
I don't care.
You
I
don't
like
care?
them. They're great
you
people.
You didn't care to meet these wonderful
they're
people?
delightful people. And so from a friendship perspective, I care.
Here's a
From a
question.
celebrity perspective, I don't care.
A couple days ago, the Throttle House guys call me James.
Oh, that's so nice.
They only speak to me through James.
Shout out to
Thomas
James.
doesn't. Thomas and I.
Thomas, that is the smartest thing you've ever done.
You need an intermediary.
I'm so
James
jealous.
is our intermediary.
I'm so jealous of Thomas.
He's like our differential. So
We need an office, James.
we do need an office.
James texts me. By the way, James only. Here's another weird thing. James only speaks to me through voice texts.
Oh, that's the worst. Anyone doing that, please stop. We're all begging you. PSA.
So he texts me and he says, "Hey, we're doing a video. I don't know. I'm maybe blowing this. They probably shouldn't talk about this first.
Yeah,
but
I think you probably just should have talked about this.
He says we're doing a video on the best car at the best two-car garage at each price point. And we've asked other car YouTubers to give their responses at various price points. And we want to ask you to do the highest price point, the $1 million price point. You have to pick a two-car garage. And I said, well, does it have to be a daily driver? And he said, whatever you can think of. And so I decided that I wanted to include a daily driver because he said, whatever you can dream. And in my dreams, my family's still there. So I did an Overtrail and a Countach. But I'm curious what you think for $1 million your dream two-car garage would be.
Bentley Dominator.
Which is what? What price point are we putting on that?
$250.
The problem is, and they specifically said this, but the problem is,
Yeah, the extant world.
they said that you have to have the price point has to be verifiable.
Okay. That makes it trickier.
Yeah. So I thought going the Dominator route.
Yeah, yeah. LMO 2 for 400, and then I got 600 left to play with, and I would get the nicest Diablo I could buy with 600.
Wow.
What
Probably
are you
an SE.
driving your children around in, Nick?
The LMO too.
The Lamu.
That's fair.
Not frequently though. This is going to be a frequently broken down garage.
Yeah. 2 Lambos.
Okay. Thank you, Nick, for that. I appreciate it. I'm not even going to ask
Thank you
yours.
for not. Appreciate it.
The best gift you ever gave us meeting automotive YouTubers is you will occasionally invite them over and then invite all of your friends over and then ask them horribly uncomfortable and deeply personal questions like confronting Hoovy about his marriages in front of his fiance at the time, which was one of the best dinners ever. And I don't think Hoovy's ever forgiven you for that.
You know what?
Delightful.
They got married, I think, in part thanks to me.
Do you?
Or despite you? I don't know.
No,
definitely despite.
For pushing them in that direction. And
is that your recollection of that?
Yeah.
event?
Yeah, that's not what happened. I remember Hoovy leaving, like just bolting for the door.
No, shout out to Hoovy and April, who we love.
it was great. And yeah, there have been some interesting ones over the years. Next question from Cavalieri. Dear Doug, please tell us, what do you think people are using household style outlets for in cars? Blenders, hair dryers? No, we use it for charging laptops.
Yeah, pretty much it.
If you're on a long road trip, like I have worked, and so you tether your phone and you plug in your laptop and you can get stuff done while you're a passenger.
Obviously,
it's very useful.
You can get converters from the cigarette style outlet, but it's really nice if you don't need that.
Yeah.
And you just plug it in.
plug
And
right
you also
in.
are pulling more power than the cigarette adapter does.
Right.
For anything real.
Yeah, it's
Also,
amazing.
It's handy. There's a reason that every minivan company has put in vacuum. Sometimes you want to just vacuum out your car. I don't know.
Life's easier. The household outlets, there are so many benefits to
Yeah,
it.
it is a
My
big
camera
power draw.
equipment is another one. Like my camera equipment is not necessarily you plug into a bolt to USBs. I have the brick that plugs into an outlet.
Yeah.
Boom, just plug it in while I'm driving to a shoot. It's very useful. It's
Also,
very helpful.
sometimes probably a blender. Hair
Yeah,
dryer requires
sometimes-
too much power, I suspect. But
Sometimes you plug in a blend. You ever blend while you drive?
No.
No.
not while you drive. You got to be unlike the Fiat 500L. You can't normally make espresso in your car.
Right. He has never had a car with a power
Of course
outlet.
not. Of course not.
Neither
I
have
haven't
I.
even had one with USB-C. You were looking down upon that earlier. But let me tell you what, that's a badge of pride in my household.
Does the Sequoia have a power outlet?
Yeah, in the trunk.
Nice.
I prefer the power outlets be in the passenger area. My E-Class station wagon has a USB
Really?
power outlet. Yes, it's only a 2-prong, but it does.
That's okay. That doesn't need to be grounded.
Well, that you can't plug in the laptop though.
It depends on which adapter you have. It's okay. We'll talk
I
about
never
it
thought
separately.
about doing an adapter.
We'll talk about it separately. It's okay. It's all good.
But yeah, the E-Class in the second row has a 2-prong.
wow.
Yeah,
That's
it's
legit.
really nice. It's really nice.
I'm not at that level of fancy. Our 3-row station wagons don't have that.
Yeah.
Don't need them.
Well,
It'd be nice, actually.
You know, by the way, I think my E-Class station wagon's faster than yours.
That
Wanna
is
race?
something we can
Yes.
test.
Go to Verona.
Well, let's see. Barona's too short. Well, actually, you know, Barona would probably be the one for me because you won't get a good launch.
Right. Also manual. That will hurt us time.
Yeah, I think let's
He
do
might
Barona.
stall.
Well, I don't think there's a quarter mile anywhere nearby.
E55 0 to 60 Wagon 4.4 to 4.5 seconds.
You got to be in the same ballpark.
Yeah, 2023 E450 Wagon 0 to 60 4.4 seconds.
Yeah,
and
I can add a lot of power to mine really easily.
and he's a stick, and it's him. Undoubtedly, mine's faster.
Right.
So AMG yourself.
Ooh.
It's hard to. All right, to be faster.
Can I make a request?
Yeah.
Can we just be done?
No, we got 2 more questions. We
more.
got time today. We got
2
time
more.
today.
Time.
It's tons of time.
Longest pod ever.
From just Josh and you.
Yeah.
Doug, what's with that empty spot in your garage on the wall of Colorado plates?
Don't tell them. Make them figure it out.
Folks,
They can figure it out.
my entire life has been devoted to finding a Colorado denim license plate from
not.
every county. Pull up a picture of a Colorado.
good.
You have to, because what if they find it right here, Filippo? This could be the moment. I'm trying to find one from every county. My entire life, I grew up as a boy in Colorado. This was on the road, all the cars. Any one of these, click on that one, and I want to find one from every county. And I'm missing 2 counties. I've been searching. I swear to God, for 20 years. I've been looking for one of these licenses. But I'm missing 2 counties: Rio Blanco, which starts with Y1V. Rio Blanco's way up there in the northwest, that one there. And Mineral, which is down here, Creed. And 20 years. I would sell Nick to finish this run.
I'm
Well-
surprised you're stopping there.
Usually I'd sell you too.
I think you would consider it.
Having had the displeasure of liquidating some of your previous holdings, I can tell you people that collect license plates are a very special breed. And I think there's only room in your life for one of them, and that is you. And therefore, I want nothing to do with the rest of the
Smart.
community.
Nick, I'll give anybody who can turn up for me a Mineral denim or a Rio Blanco denim, I'll give you $1,000 each. That
Plus-
includes you.
Plus the value of the plate.
No.
Now, I want to tell you something. Rio Blanco,
I got stuff to do.
there's 500 of them. And they're pairs, so there's 1,000 plates. There's a ton out there. This could be a way for you to make some extra cash.
How many collectors have them all?
There's only
you know
1 or
of?
2 guys
Wow.
who have a full set. And Mineral is a story. It's like very difficult. So Mineral's gonna be hard. I don't think you'll find that one. But Rio Blanco's findable, Nick.
Why have
you
you
go to
not found
Meeker. There's an old lady we know of who has one, and she's unwilling. She's not ready to let them go yet.
There's 1,000 of them.
There's 1,000 of them.
There's gonna be
But
many old ladies.
the last year they were made was December 31, 99 was when they, so it's been 25 years.
Yeah.
And, you know, people didn't save this kind of stuff.
Right.
They don't realize how special
It's
it
in
is.
somebody's barn.
Yeah,
all of them
for
are.
sure. Absolutely. The Mineral, maybe not. That's a different situation. But the Rio Blanco is. I'm off for $1,000, Filippo. This is a good opportunity.
Plus the
for you.
value of the plate. I assume that they're valuable.
Yeah, so $1,006 is my offer. Filippo, this could be a chance for you to really, and you could say, I did something. If you, I'll tell you this, if you go to Meeker,
Yeah. Is it a nice town, Meeker?
it's a sort of a high plains town. It's really a mountain community in a sense, but it's not in the
Oh,
mountains.
this looks beautiful.
Well, that's yeah, it's fine. It's nice. Meeker's nice. And if you go there, I'll pay your airfare.
It's fine. New town slogan.
What a
It's
nice
fine.
town.
I don't know what this is.
Oh, I see a B7 Audi
Missouri
A4.
license plate. Yeah, nice B7 there.
People drive
Low
through.
FJ40.
Yeah.
Filippo, there's great cars in Meeker.
By Filippo standards, those are pretty decent.
This is like a beautiful town.
It's a beautiful town. Yeah. So look, I'll pay your airfare and your travel to go to Meeker and find one.
You know, every once in a while, we just see people with like the old
Okay.
California plates still rocking them. You know, like you could probably just go there with a Phillips head screwdriver, drive around enough,
No, there's like 2 or 3 pairs still on the road. We know that.
Doug has considered
find some junk.
I Carfaxed them at all at one point. They all had they started at Y1V like 0100, and I Carfaxed through 0500 one day.
Man, miss
Yeah.
having that unlimited Carfax.
It was a great day.
It was great. It was great.
Filippo, if I'll pay your airfare and your travel to Meeker, the $1,000 no longer applies, but I'll pay your airfare and travel to Meeker.
Producer Sean, little trip.
Oh, this is a great video.
The next key video.
It's such a niche audience.
My buddy who finished his run with a Mineral which is the hardest by far.
Yeah.
He found the person and offered him $500, and they were like, "Are you like a crazy person? Are you a scammer?" And he was like, "No, I will give you $500. I will meet you in the town." And he drove 6 hours with $500, and he gave him the $500, and he got his plate. But they didn't have to.
Wow.
There you go. That's the story of the empty holes. Do you have anything to add to that?
Nothing that will make it more interesting.
Will you send Filippo to Meeker to get me? This is gonna work.
That would actually be an
Sure.
interesting documentary
Yeah.
on license plate collectors.
Don't think it would. I don't think there's much interesting there.
Also, the collectors aren't in Meeker.
And I
They
wanna be
only
clear.
go there to buy plates.
I want to
No,
be really
but
clear.
just in general.
My interest in license
whole
plates, I want to be
subject,
clear, is limited to the following thing. Colorado license plates from 1992 to 1999.
And
Nothing else.
And
All right. This has gone on far too long.
Agreed.
Nick, absolute pleasure. Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Loved everything about it. Filippo, you want to promo anything while we finish up?
carsandbeds.com is the best place. Oh, leave it.
Ryan's already standing. He's
All
ready.
right, thank you all for watching. Be on the lookout for a lot more information about Velocity Invitational, where we'll have 15 incredible cars there. Really cool event at Sonoma Raceways with our first ever live auction situation. I'm excited. Okay,
Goodbye.
I'm excited.